All right, guys. Thanks for stopping by the channel. If you're not subscribed already, please do. Um, this channel is all about putting out unbiased information to help save you money. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into it. First thing we're gonna just say right off the bat is this video applies to clip-on thermals of the 1X variety. I know there's gonna be someone in the comments talking about, well, my clip-on thermal can do XYZ. This is about 1X clip-on thermals, not your 2X or 3X dedicated night optic. So if that is you, if you're a night hunter and you use a dedicated night rig, this video is not for you. So yeah, let's just get right into the pros, to the cons, some limitations, and some things that are going to be, I guess, putting on like visual display or demonstration to just kind of paint you guys a better picture of what these things enable you to do and what they do not. So first off, the pros list. It turns your day setup into a night setup. It kind of allows you to, this allows you to flex into two roles where you don't have to commit to an entire night gun and then you have a separate day gun. This just goes right in front of your, yeah, this just goes right in front of your day optic. Boom. Yeah, because this just goes right in front of your day optic. Push it forward the same way you would when you're mounting your scope, and boom. Another pro is this allows you to see things that your naked eye can't see, whether that's piercing some dense brush, or if you're shooting when there's no ambient light, or things of that nature. Thermal allows you to see things that your eyeball typically cannot see, whether that's a small creature like a bird, a rabbit, a coyote, a pig, whatever. Something that's camouflaged well enough that your naked eye would just brush right over it. The next thing is a reliable QD. This is something that we're going to actually be testing in this video. So I have no idea how reliable this QD system is. I'm not sure if I can take this off, use this as a monocular, like for scanning, and then if I spot something, put it on my rig, and then go to work. So that's going to be something that we're going to find out together. But if this is reliable, like I just said, this will allow you to not have to pan, not have to be essentially married to the weapon and panning as you're scanning, like while you're behind your rifle. If your QD is reliable, and this is something you need to test as well, this will allow you to just pop off your thermal, scan the target, find it, put it on your rifle, or keep this off of your rifle in like a pouch, excuse me, and allow you to scan while you're not married to your setup. Another pro, and this might offend some people, is the weight. More weight means less felt recoil. I know a lot of people wouldn't run a 15-pound setup like this, but I go to the gym. So if weight is something that is concerning to you, or if your recoil control is not the best, or it's kind of lackluster, added weight helps with recoil absorption. And the final pro is they just look dope. Thermal clip-ons, pretty much the more shit you can put on your rifle, the cooler it looks. Let's just be honest. Like this setup, not bragging, I think it looks pretty sweet. But moving forward into the more important things aside from aesthetics, even though aesthetics is half the battle, and that's what most of us on social media care about, the most important things are the cons. So getting into the cons, first and foremost, thermal clip-ons need to be collimated. What is collimation? That is essentially moving the image of the screen center line with your day optic. What does that mean? Once you collimate this thermal to your day optic, you cannot remove this optic and just slap it in front of another gun and think you're good, because you're not. Essentially what's happening is the light that's entering, or the picture that the objective lens is getting, is being shifted inside. So what your day optic might read as like 1 mil off could really be like 6 mils, because you're not collimated. It's not zeroed. So once you collimate a thermal optic to that setup, it is essentially married to that setup, unless you want to recollimate it, or if your thermal optic, unless your thermal clip-on has multiple profiles where you can just, gun number 2 and it just shifts the screen. That's something that this thermal optic doesn't do. So essentially this thermal is married to this optic until I recollimate it to a different optic. But just take that with a grain of salt. If your thermal has multiple profiles and you can just slap it on, change the profile, ignore that. Another con, maybe for you, not for me, but just putting it out there, is weight. If you're already concerned about weight of your setup, adding on a thermal optic is going to add weight. So if you're concerned about weight, just get a dedicated night optic and be done with it. Save weight there. You won't have 2 separate optics on your setup, and you'll be fine. The next con, and if you follow me on Instagram, you probably already noticed it just by clicking on this video, is the base mag. I used to have a 4.5 to 27 Vortex Razor on here, but the base mag was too high. Like the field of view that I was getting out of this from the corner of my yard to that corner is 38 yards. So corner to corner is 38 yards. I might have saw like 6 feet. So, or like 6 yards, sorry. So just keep that in mind. The higher your base mag, the less field of view you're going to get out of the thermal, and the more pixelated your image is going to be on the lowest setting. So if you can get a 1x or 2x base mag to marry with this thermal optic, you're going to be better off in the long run. This is a 3x, but this is just the lowest base mag that I had for my scopes. I wasn't going to put an LPVO on a bolt gun. Yeah. Moving on to the next con is POI and POA shift. Point of aim, point of impact shift. Depending on what you mount this to, so this is mounted to a bridge, and it's essentially not even touching the barrel. This is just something else I have to test as well with this video. So as we're moving forward, we'll be testing this together in real time, so there'll be no bias involved. Not that there would be in the first place, but just know that if you're mounting this to an AR, personally, I know out the gate there's going to be more weight getting pulled on that barrel nut, which is going to shift your barrel, which is going to shift your point of impact shift. So just know that. I've never mounted anything like this to a bolt gun, so I don't know, and I can't speak to that at this point. But as the video goes on, we're going to test that together. Another thing, or another pro, and this is just something that I've noticed already just from getting familiar with this optic, scanning around my yard and scanning the lake behind this brush back here, is the battery life. These things just suck power like Riley Reid in her fucking prime. Okay? So just know that if you're going to bring a thermal clip-on out to the field or to a night hunt or whatever, and you do not bring spare batteries, just expect to not have a good time, because these things have an advertised battery life of 4 to 5 hours, which means realistically you might get 3 to 4. And that's going to vary on your screen brightness, whether you have on the hot tracking or all the bells and whistle features turned on. That's going to depend on how much battery life you get out of this unit. So less is more. The less features you have turned on, the less screen brightness, the more battery life you'll get. And these last two cons are extremely important, but I didn't know which one I wanted to talk about first. So I'll talk about the glass. Thermal cannot pierce glass. at all. It'll just bounce off, and whatever color palette you have selected, that's what you're going to see. You're not going to see any sort of thermal signature behind glass. It completely bounces off. But the most important con that I thought, because no one ever talks about it, and it was the first thing that I noticed as soon as I mounted this unit, that is the controls. Okay, what do I mean by that? If we look at this day optic, right, if I needed to dial 1 mil and I'm on fire controls, so I'm here, I can just reach up, dial 1 mil, boom, here. I could even do that with the perfect sight picture, right? But if I needed to adjust my focus on my thermal unit way out front, I need to blade. I don't even know if I'm in the picture. 1 second. Okay. So yeah, if I needed to adjust my focus, let's say there's a coyote at 100 yards, right? And I was not focused enough for that target, I would essentially need to break my sight picture, blade my body so my arm can reach it to grab the focus knob way out front, get behind the optic, and then start dialing until it was where I needed it to be. And then I can either stay there or get back into a good body position. If you had a dedicated night setup, you could do that all from here. Okay. I'm not sure what kind of night optic you have, but more than likely it's either going to be the ocular lens or it's going to be something up top. Okay. But with the thermal, way out front. Okay. So that is something that you need to consider. If you're not willing to literally be like this, don't even entertain a thermal clip on. Like, yes, you get to expand your capabilities in one system, but there are cons that come with it. Another thing is the menu buttons. Trying to get this thing collimated and zeroed is a task. You are going to break a sweat and it is going to fucking suck. But if this is the route that you want to go, just understand that's what comes with this. Yeah, if you're trying to gain the most capability out of one system, there are cons that come with it. There's no free cake. Okay. So yeah, if I wanted to change my color palette, if I wanted to access the menu or digitally zoom, or even just power this thing on from standby mode all the way in the front, okay, you're going to be in an awkward position. So yeah, with all those things said, those are just the pros and cons and the limitations, the base mag being the limitation really. Yeah, now we're going to get into going to see some things we're going to compare the day, I don't know, the day scene compared to the night scene behind this brush. We're going to scan across the lake with a rangefinder. Then we're going to do that same thing later on at night and just b-roll the footage together. Like, could you see that with your naked eye versus not, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's really what I wanted to cover in this initial intro. Nobody talks about the cons. All they do is they throw up videos of them hunting, and they never talk about how rough it is to actually use a clip-on thermal. As awesome as they are as a capability package and as a force multiplier, no one talks about the limitations that come with this unit, which is actually why I got a fucking clip-on thermal. I wasn't aware of any of the cons that came with it until the second I mounted it on the rifle. As cool as it is, it comes with cons. Now, personally, do I need a dedicated night optic? No, I don't do any sort of night hunting nearly enough to have a rig dedicated for night hunting. So I thought this was the option to go. And when I did that, as soon as I mounted the optic, I was like, oh shit, this thing comes with some cons and people need to know about it. So here we are. But yeah, now I'm going to take you guys up to where we're going to be doing the video comparison of day to night on the other side of this brush. That's it. Okay, so here we are at the lake that I was talking about. Is behind the rental property. If you see this house right here, the house right there, that white one, I'm about to range that house. We'll see how far away that is. That house is 691 yards away. Okay. Now we're going to pan to the right. Okay. Next, we're going to range this house right here. That house is 452 yards away. Next, we're going to pan left. I'm on the side of a hill, so now we're gonna range this house right here. That house is 272 yards. Okay. Okay, the next thing that we're gonna do, I'm gonna pan right so you guys can see. We're on this tree line, okay? We're gonna range these trees right here. I'm gonna range that set of trees, and then we're gonna range this tree line behind the trees. So those cluster of trees are 178 yards away, and the tree line is 233 yards away. Now we're just going to compare the footage. We're going to do this exact same thing in a couple hours and get the night range, if I can even see this shit with my naked eye at night, because it's supposed to be zero bloom. But boom, just like that. Thermal found something that easy. Okay, so I'm gonna lock this down, attempt to remove the thermal. And we can't even see what we're aiming at. Put the unit back on. Push forward. We're gonna find that animal. Boom, there it is. Just sitting there chilling. So, example of the Mark 1 eyeball defeated. Done. Okay, gotta try and make this quick because the trigger cam's acting stupid. But here's the house. And while we're at it, we'll just go through the color panels. So each color palette has like some subsections under it. There's green hot with its color palettes, white hot, black hot, and red hot. But this is the house that was, I don't have the ranges just because I'm pressed for time, but I'll make sure I throw it up on screen. This was the house that we ranged first. Well, we had some little ducks out there. Yeah, look at that. And I'll do the digital zoom for y'all too. There's 2, 4, and then back to base, black. And we'll zoom in, 2, 4. Yeah, we can try and focus in on that little guy. That's about right there. Yeah, we'll go to a color palette that's suitable for trying to record for picture quality, I guess, and also throw on illumination. So this was the first house that we looked at. Trying to do this quick. Then we pan to the right. Where's my unlock this thing? We pan to the right. This was the second house. I'll focus in on this one. See, that was the second house. Now we're gonna pan to the left. This house is like 270 yards, if I remember right. And that was that one right there. As you can see, I have the red hot color palette. So we're picking up their like fireplace or whatever that thing is up there. But okay, yeah, Tricam's acting real funky. Hope it's recording. But yeah, as you can see, there is zero loom out right now. But we're able to pierce through pretty much all of this overcast. You see all these houses. Just gonna keep panning. You see all these ducks in the water. I'm gonna grab my phone real quick while the ducks are right there. So the rifle's pointed at these ducks. The rifle is cleared. No mag and the bolt is open, or action's open. We can't even see that. See, this is what it looks like right now. This is all you can see with the naked eye. You don't know what house you're looking at. Pointing up to the sky right now. There's the moon. That's all that's out. So I had to bust out a flashlight to navigate through those little woods back there to get across that jank ass bridge to get up to this lake. But that's what we're working with. So now, I guess just for extra content, while the trigger cam is still up, we're just gonna look at these little ducks out here with the color palette. I'm gonna turn on the impact and range them. So those ducks are 37 yards away with the impact 4000, and you can't even see that with the naked eye. So keep stuff like that in mind. Now we're just going to continue to pan. So we got all these ducks. Go through some color palettes. Green with their subsets. White with their subsets. Black with its subsets. And red with its subsets. I hope this thing is still recording, guys. I really do. We're just going to continue to pan. See what else is on this lake. White, black, go red. Just trying to use this one because it's easy to spot really quick with that red. Somebody's house is super warm. Reflection in the water. More reflection. And that's the end of the lake. So now I'm going to go set up at that tree line that I showed you guys earlier. Okay, here. Now we're set up. Now we're set up at those trees that we lased earlier. But take note of the field of view. This is what you're gonna get with a clip-on thermal, with a high base mag day optic. Yeah, I know 3 is not high, but we're 3x down there, okay? So those are those trees we lased earlier. There's the tree line back there. Now I'm gonna try and get both of them in view. I'll just lock it down and I'll just go through the menu. So let's see if we can focus in a little bit more. Okay, those are those trees. Green hot. Now you might have been wondering when we were up on the lake, what does the color palette even matter? And as you'll see as we scroll through here, some color palettes pick up better, or different environments better than others. And depending on the level of contrast and the target that you're trying to engage, yeah, that kind of just washes out. But yeah, depending on the target you're trying to engage, it might help you spot things faster. So this is that tree line right here. Those are those trees. And yeah, we went through the menu. Here is digital zoom 2x. So 2, 4. Back to normal. And now I'm gonna so I'm gonna zoom in on this. Now I'm on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Notice how it's starting to get pixelated. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. So that's why your base mag matters. The higher your base mag, the more pixelated your image is going to become. But other than that, I'm going to try and end this video here. Hopefully the trigger can pick this stuff up. And like you guys saw, there is 0 lume out here right now. It is pretty foggy. Trigger cam is just beeping away, so I think it's recording because it's still flashing, but it's just making noise. But yeah, we've gone over everything clip-on thermal related, from battery life. Let's see, let me see if I can give you guys an example of what collimation will look like. So here's your menu. This is collimation right here. So you're gonna bring everything in line. See? That's essentially what collimation is. I'll have to recollimate this. Thanks guys, I forgot what the number was at because this is already done, but it's all good. It's just more training. But yeah, that's collimation. It's pretty easy. You shoot the target, see where the bullet went, move the reticle inside the optic to where the bullet went, and then boom, collimated. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's pretty much the opposite of zeroing a day optic. At least this one is anyways. Yours might be different. But yeah, I'm going to end the video here. Sneak back through these woods and hopefully not fall in a fucking river in the process. So, see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so in this portion of the video, we're going to be going over the QD mounts that I mentioned earlier. How reliable is the return to zero, and if this QD will enable like monocular type function, so you're not married to the rifle. And right off the bat, you'll notice that this is my SPR and not my bolt action. Bolt action ammo is just more expensive, so figured I could show you guys the collimation process with cheaper ammo and still get the same result. Trigger cam is down. It is what it is, but I have a target set up downrange, and in between iterations, I'll just walk you guys with me back and forth. The ammo that we're shooting is 77 grain Reman Black Arc. For the money, this stuff is pretty dope. I'll throw up the chrono numbers on screen as like a little B-roll, so y'all can see that. But yeah, we're just gonna get right into the shooting. So I'm gonna take this off and just set it to the side, and we're gonna just roll right into the confirmation and collimation and return to zero test. Okay, zero confirmed. I had to do a little readjusting. It was like 0.8 off because I zeroed it with yeah, it was 0.8 off. I zeroed it with the 77 grain NAS 3262. So this is just a different ammo, so you guys know how that works. Let's see, average 2642.4, SD 9.0, extreme spread 29.1. Pretty solid. Now we're going to throw the thermal on. Power it on. Okay, now we're going to get into the collimation. So bear with me. Let's see. Okay, so here we are at the target. Ignore these with the strikes through them. These are just a part of the collimation process and getting it zeroed. So yeah, good to go now. So now what I'm going to do, it's going to be, I'll label it. We're going to go thermal on the left and day on the right. So yeah, what we're going to do is going to go 2 rounds, remove the clip-on, 1 round. Put the clip-on back on, 2 rounds, remove it, 1 round. So it should be 6 rounds here, 3 rounds here. So we're going to get to that now. All right, so clip-on is collimated and zeroed. Now we're going to do the 2-1 all in one take. So Boom. Boom. Start on the thermal side. Removed. Back on. Removed. Back on. Alright. So here we are walking up to the target. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So trending a little low, but that's fine. 1, 2, 3. So there is a return to 0. So now we know that it could double as a binocular. Make sure you test that for yourself. But yeah, aside from maybe shifting my 0 here in the future, but as we see, it just repeatedly returned to 0. So yeah, hopefully you guys saw the pros and cons of a clip-on unit, and hopefully you guys get out and test this stuff for yourself, because nobody is really talking about the cons. All they ever really do is, like I said before, they show you all the pros, no cons. They never talk about cost. They never talk about how they got it. I bought my unit from Clark Shooter with my own money, not sponsored by Accufire or nothing like that. But yeah, get out here, test this stuff for yourself. Yeah, go to the range, go shoot. That's really it. Yeah, hopefully you guys learned something from the video. Make sure you like and subscribe. Share this with anybody that you know that might be thinking about getting a clip-on unit. Because like I said, these things come with their cons. And yeah, I just wanted to share it with you guys the moment that I mounted it to my rifle. But yeah. Oh, another thing. Like we saw, since I am in the video, the thermal is now mounted to my my SPR. If I wanted to move that thermal optic back onto my bolt action, I would have to recollimate and re-zero. And that is how I kept running out of ammo. That is why I had to test, or I had to finish the video on my SPR and not my bolt action, because the collimation process for me, I guess because I'm so new to thermal, I was just lost in the sauce trying to figure out what the fuck to do in the manual. There is no like step by step. It gives like backyard instructions on how to get it zeroed. So I was essentially like by myself the whole time trying to figure this shit out. But yeah, if I wanted to mount that thermal back onto my bolt action, I'd have to recollimate, re-zero, and then it's married to that rifle. Now the thermal is married to my SPR. I mean, which is fine, but yeah, if I wanted to move rifles, I'd have to redo the entire process all over again, and that took about, I don't know, took too long. All right, so had a little hiccups, but we got through it. Went through the pros and cons of a clip-on thermal. We checked the return to 0, so this unit could be used as a monocular if needed. Went through the color palettes, went through the cons of the controls, and went through all the pros that you get, such as the ability to see things that your naked eye can't see, and no need for ambient light. So, with all that said, make sure you consider the cons before you get into a clip-on thermal. You don't just be like, oh, that's the end-all be-all, because it comes with, as we saw, a shitload of cons. Yeah, there is some like cool pros, but the controls and the glass is really the biggest cons that come with it. But as long as you're aware of the cons and it fits your use case, then hey, by all means, get a clip-on thermal. I mean, I have one. But other than that, thanks for watching the video. This is probably gonna be a long one. Make sure you subscribe, and yeah, see y'all in the next one.